Hello, welcome to Tuesday's Not Today with me, Al Booth. Thank you for being here. This is what's happening on today's show for you. We're going to be hearing from Nottingham icons, Torvill and Dean. The name Tram has got a refresh, and that's days before their final ever dance.
Well, we're feeling ready. You know, we've had a long tour, and we wanted to finish in Nottingham, our hometown. And so, you know, we're looking forward to them, and we want to treat it as a celebration.
We'll have more on that for you shortly, and we'll be hearing how poor childhood health could lead to complications for men in later life. New University of Nottingham research has shown how boys being overweight at a young age or having other infectious diseases could increase the risk of chronic disease in the future. We'll have a look at that study shortly, and we'll also be hearing about the final Nottingham pub singing event before it goes on a major UK tour. Crazy little sinkhole pub has taken our city by storm over the last year. It's going to take over the Big Shed on Thursday, and then it's going to go out across various dates over the UK. Founder Abby Moore will be here to discuss it all later. And in sport, we've got not one but two big interviews with players signing new contracts with our clubs. Fan favourite Forest fullback Ola Einer's one of them.
Staff, the city, and just everything about it really is just it's a bit of me. So it was a no-brainer to obviously continue the journey.
And we'll hear from Ola. We'll also hear from Stags forward Dom Dwyer on why he's staying at Field Mill.
And it was a top level right away, and really just enjoyed it. You know, the club, the atmosphere, the town, you know, everything about it. So it feels like the right place for me, and I'm very happy to get it done.
There you go. See, loads coming up for you today. First then, it's a double celebration for Nottingham's most famous duo. Today, iconic ice skaters Torvill and Dean were given two honours. The first, it's their 201 tram, which was renamed in gold signage. And then after that, they went along to cut the ribbon on the new Torvill and Dean rink at the National Ice Centre. It's all part of marking the end of the 50 years of incredible ice skating and ahead of their emotional last dance this weekend. Jack Sims has been to meet them.
Two accolades for two legends. Today, Jane Torvill and Christopher Dean were celebrated by the city that birthed them as they prepared to put on their skates for the final time. For 50 years, Torvill and Dean have innovated and inspired on the ice, with their iconic bolero making them gold medalists and the highest scoring skaters of all time. Many medals and decades later, this dynamic duo is preparing to hang up their skates for good, as this week will be the final performances of their Our Last Dance tour, ending at the National Ice Arena where it all began. But first, companies in Nottingham came together to give them the send-off they deserve. Their 201 tram has been given the gold treatment, as the two unveiled new golden signage at the NET depot. Then, it was onto their tram and off to where it all started, and where their waltz will come to an end, the National Ice Arena, where they cut the ribbon on their very own ice rink. The iconic ice skaters say honours like this are less of a farewell and more of a celebration.
Even though we're retiring, you know, something like this is always going to be there, and indeed the ice rink.
It's a legacy a little bit, isn't it? Yeah. So we feel very close to the arena, obviously, and now naming a rink is a wonderful thing and a great honour.
Well, we're feeling ready. You know, we've had a long tour, and we wanted to finish in Nottingham, our hometown. And so, you know, we're looking forward to them, and we want to treat it as a celebration.
Yeah, with something that's so original for us that we're sort of telling our story.
For NET, this marks the first time a tram's name has been updated. But they said when it came to the Terrific 2, it was the least they could do.
Oh gosh, I mean, I just get goosebumps talking about them because I think they're legends across Nottingham, and I think it's just a great honour that we recognise that here at NET. And yeah, to invite them down for a rechristening, a bit of a refresh of their name, I think it's justified to mark their farewell tour. I mean, even Chris himself said, you know, every time he's in Nottingham, he does a bit of tram spotting for Tram 201, which is their tram.
Torvill and Dean will be performing their last dance at the arena on the 12th of July. For many, the day marks the end of 50 glorious years. But for Nottingham, it's about bringing its two most beloved performers back home for one last time. Jack Sims for Notts TV.
Oh, that is going to be one big emotional event this weekend, isn't it? Well, now let's welcome our first guest of the evening, because a new University of Nottingham study has been looking into how poor childhood health in boys could significantly increase the risk of disease when they become men. Research has shown how boys being overweight in early childhood or having infectious diseases like chickenpox in infancy may in fact increase their risk of chronic disease as they age. Well, joining us now to tell us more about it is Professor Richard Ivell, who's working on the study. Thank you for coming in. So when we talk about childhood then, what age are we looking at?
Well, we're looking mostly at fairly young children. Previously we've been focusing on the importance of puberty and those later years into the mid-teens, adolescence. Now we're realising that in fact it's the younger years before all that happens that are turning out to be really quite important. But I think to set the scene I need to take a bit of a step back because what we're really looking at and what interests us mostly is in fact age, the effect of age in men. We're all getting older. But the problem is, we're not being healthy when we age. And so one of the biggest problems society is facing today is the fact that we're showing all these chronic illnesses like diabetes, cardiovascular disease. All of these are getting more relevant and more important the older we get. And because we're living longer, these are becoming more and more important issues. Now, we've been working for some time on the role of hormones made by the testes, and their effect on health. We've known for some time that testosterone, the classic testis hormone, is closely associated, the amount of testosterone you make is closely associated with the incidence of chronic disease. So that men who have relatively low levels of testosterone are at much higher risk of getting things like diabetes or cardiovascular disease or bone weakness, etc. Now, testosterone itself is not a very good biomarker. It's not something we can use easily because it's very variable. But we've been looking at another hormone made by the testes, which is called insulin-like peptide 3, INSL3 for short. And this is a much easier biomarker to use because it's very, very consistent within an individual. It shows virtually no variation over the lifetime of an adult man. And so we can use this to measure the testis' capacity to make these hormones, and it correlates very, very well with future chronic illness. And so this is why it's so important for us, is to look at this hormone and understand how it's being regulated, how it's being controlled. Now, the issue we have is it may be very consistent within an individual, but between individuals, we see something like, well over a 10-fold variation from very low levels to very high levels. And these very low levels, they correlate, as I've said, with those chronic diseases later in life. And so Sorry to jump in.
No. So is there anything in early childhood then that as parents, as health practitioners,
exactly,
you can do to catch it and to help the children when they become men?
Yeah, absolutely. This is why we've asked the critical question, where does this variation come from? We know it starts somewhere in early adulthood. That's when this seems to be set out. The blueprints are, if you like, printed out, that we seem to see it set out there. But we ask the question, well, what is it in childhood going up to early adulthood which seems to influence mostly these low levels or high levels? Why do young men have low levels which are going to cause them problems later in life? And so what we did, we took advantage of a very large cohort of children, which was established in Bristol back in the early 90s, I think it was. In the early 90s, something like 15,000 pregnant women were followed with their children, every few years, lots of clinical parameters being measured, lots of questionnaires being produced, and all that data is now available. Now, we measured, these kids, the boys now, are actually in their 30s. They're in their mid-30s now. We measured the INSL3 levels in these young men, and then we tried to find out what factors in all of their life up until that time seem to be associated with them being either low or high. So in other words, how far back can we go? And we looked at all sorts of things like smoking in adolescence and lots and lots of factors. There were very, very many available to us, including, as I said, the pregnancy of the mothers and what the mothers were doing. So all of this time, we've looked at hundreds of parameters. 2 factors stood out.
What were the 2? We're
well,
out of time.
You mentioned this at the beginning. The 2 factors that stood out. One was being overweight in early childhood.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about early childhood up until the low teens.
Yeah.
So just when puberty started, so
Yeah.
up until that point, before puberty in fact. And then the incident of having chicken pox. Had they got chicken pox in infancy? And by infancy, I mean up to 3 years.
Well, I think, unfortunately, we've run out of time. I feel like an entire show wouldn't cover this, and
Yeah.
we only had
No,
4
I'm sorry
minutes.
about that.
No, it's fascinating. It's really interesting.
And so the next step
maybe,
is...
Maybe we could do it again. And
the next step is now to start looking at what's happening down there.
Could you come back on and tell us that?
Yep,
we'll clear the whole show to talk about, or half a show, because that's
Gladly.
not enough. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right, we'll stay with health, because an ongoing delay to blood test results in our area could actually lead to the number of available GP appointments being cut off, we found out. NHS leaders say problems dealing with computer issues are impacting the delivery of blood tests across Nottingham and the county, and that's leading to GP surgeries reporting extra stresses on doctors and nurses. It comes in the first week of new technology systems in pathology labs going live, which has reported problems to GPs. Right, we'll have sport on the way for you next. Hello, welcome back to Tuesday's show. I'm Al, thanks for being with me. This is what's happening in Notts today. The East Midlands Mayor will be urged to reduce bus fares back down to £2 and protect Nottinghamshire's rural bus network. Conservative councillors will table a motion at this week's Nottinghamshire County Council full council meeting, which will urge Labour Mayor Claire Ward to protect public transport in the county. That's as the devolved politician takes on responsibility for buses as part of her role. The Tories will urge the Mayor to defend rural services and also consider reducing the local bus fare cap from £3 down to £2 at Thursday's meeting. And staying with transport, emergency repairs mean that there'll be no trams running between Clifton South and Nottingham Station for part of this week. Engineers will repair one of the overhead line poles, which was recently damaged after a crash between a tram and a car in the Meadows. Operator Net says the work will begin at the end of service on Wednesday evening, about 10:15 in the evening, and that'll go through until the following day. Normal services will resume on Thursday morning. All right, time to get musical on the show now, because this month we'll see the very popular Nottingham-based Crazy Little Sing Called Pub events go on a whole UK tour. The event sees pubgoers all come together in song and blast out classics like Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper and Sit Down by James, just to name 2. Countless events have been held here in Nottingham, but now it's all going national. Before it does though, there's one final event here this week, and to tell us is founder Abby Moore. Hello, hi. Welcome. Just remind us when Crazy Little Thing Called Pub started.
It was October 2023, so it's about a year and a half, my maths is terrible, just over a year and a half. Old, and it feels like I've been doing it for years now.
Yeah, absolutely, but I mean, it hasn't. It's been really recent, and now it's going nationwide.
Yeah,
so.
I think in total we've done 20 events, only 20, and it does feel like a lot more than that. But yeah, so our last one for the summer is in Nottingham on Thursday, which I'm really excited about because we did the Big Shed last year and it was phenomenal, really good fun. It's a great venue.
So it's back at the Big Shed.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's happening for that before we talk about your UK tour then?
So it's basically the last one in Nottingham until the autumn. So we're trying to get all of our favourite Nottingham people to come back and say a quick goodbye, just temporarily, while we go and do a humongous, well, I say humongous, it's humongous for us. We're basically going to all the kind of major cities of the UK and Edinburgh Fringe as well, which we first talked about on Notts TV ages ago, and I was really tentative about it, thinking, oh, it might not happen, and now it's a month away, and it's just, the time has flown.
Is this still the Big Shed? Is this still one where people can just turn up?
Absolutely,
They're
always.
all the same,
always.
but all still true to the very first.
Yeah, we've not changed anything about the format, so it's open to absolutely everybody. It doesn't matter if you can sing or not. You don't have to be a regular singer. You don't have to even be good at singing. Just come along, get some drinks. There's an outdoor pizza kitchen, which is brilliant, by the way. I have tried them. And it's going to be really fun because it's in an outdoor venue as well. So even if it's absolutely boiling hot, we're going to have lots of breeze, which is lovely. And there's a big stage and a huge screen. So yeah, it'll be fab.
Let's talk about the UK. When you started?
Well, we actually started 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you're already on tour?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So we went down to Suffolk. That was our first date, and that was fabulous. Really, really great. And so now we're heading to Manchester and then Birmingham, Newcastle, Edinburgh, and London.
Oh, so that is a full UK tour. That's not just we're going to go to a pub down the road. It's like
yeah.
I mean, how's it been received? How have you? Sorry, where have you done so far?
We did Suffolk already.
So just Suffolk so far.
Yes, that was the first one.
What's the crowd like down there compared to here?
I mean, you say that with a wrinkle on your face. Like,
I just think there might be a bit more sort of, less get easy going than not.
No, they were really up for it. I mean, I think that particular audience may have been a little bit biased in that I've been to Suffolk. I've done gigs in Suffolk before, so I have a little bit of an audience down there. And I used to lead a couple of choirs, very small choirs down there in Suffolk about 10 years ago. So some of them came back, and that was really nice because it was like a old times kind of thing. So we had a really nice full room, and it was at the John Peel Centre, which is a really great venue. So that was great. So we started off really well. So I'm hoping now onwards and upwards. But yes, please do tell any friends and family you have in any of the major cities that we're coming. And hopefully we'll have the same vibe, the same openness, because Nottingham is just always so open-minded and up for so much fun. They're just such a great crowd. Obviously, we love our home crowd more than everybody else. But
Was it ever your intention when you started this? Was it ever your intention to then sort of spread it far and wide?
I mean, you always dream, but often I have dreams and then you have to go, that's not going to work. So it's been really lovely that it has worked, and I think because of our social media and the videos that we put out, more people see them across the country, and then we start getting people saying, "Oh, can you come to Sheffield? Can you come to, Newark or wherever?" And then you kind of think, oh, actually, maybe we could now. It's not just that's a nice idea. Now maybe we can. So
it's such a positive thing, isn't it? We've all talked about this many times when you've been on the show. We know that no one's judging. We know that everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's there, just the camaraderie of it all. Yeah,
it's really informal, and I think that's why people come back. And I saw someone yesterday randomly, just not in a venue, just. She said, I come to your Crazy Little Things. It's always the highlight of my month when you've got the next date coming. And that's so lovely to hear. And, I hope, long may it last.
Yeah, absolutely. And here as well, after you've done the tour, you're going to do more in Notts?
Yeah, of course. Good. Yeah. We can't let the people down.
No. So tell us about the next one then, the big farewell for now.
Yeah, farewell for now. That is on Thursday night. So that is 7:30 at the Big Shed. And then we're heading off to Manchester on the 25th of this month.
What's on Thursday? What's the set list? Do you know what the songs are going to be?
Yes, we're going to be doing The Chain by Fleetwood Mac.
Isn't that an instrumental?
No, it's not.
Everyone's like, dum, 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 dum.
That is going to happen. That bit.
Oh, right, just like that?
Yeah. No, I mean, we're going to sing words too. But that famous bit, we're not missing that out. That is got to be in there.
There is a whole song after that,
there's a whole song.
After the Formula One bit. Brilliant. Well, after you've done your tour, come back and we'll talk and see how it went.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Abby. Thank you. Right, sport now, no theme music for this. And we'll start with Forest because fan favourite fullback Ola Aina has put pen to paper on a new deal at the City Ground. Nigerian international started 35 out of the 38 Premier League games last season, and that helped the Reds back into Europe for the first time in 30 years. In a new interview, he said the club has always felt like home.
It feels good. Happy to obviously get everything sorted and just ready for the new season. It's going to be an exciting one. So yeah, I'm buzzing. It's a fantastic club, obviously. The staff, the city, and just everything about it really is just, it's a bit of me. So it was a no-brainer to obviously continue the journey. The club hasn't been in Europe for ages, so you know, to be part of the group, the team that has finally done that is very special.
Mansfield forward Dom Dwyer has also signed a new contract at Field Mill. The American joined the Stags as a free agent in March and got 4 goals and an assist in 9 games. And that staved off relegation. In a new interview, he said everything about the club, the town, the atmosphere is brilliant.
And it was a top level right away, and really just enjoyed it. You know, the club, the atmosphere, the town, you know, everything about it. So it feels like the right place for me, and I'm very happy to get it done. I did okay. You know, I started to feel a little bit fitter throughout the months. Honestly, I wanted a couple more weeks. I was starting to feel good at the end, but just kind of trying to build chemistry with the group and get involved and understand, you know, what the manager wants from me, and really just keep developing and keep learning and just enjoying my football. Yeah, I feel like I should have had a few more, to be fair. You know, we're on a good side. We've got a good group of players. And we create a lot of chances. So I think that, you know, putting the ball in the net is what I'm decent at.
In League Two, Notts County have confirmed tickets for their opening game of the new season will go on sale on Friday. The Magpies travel to South Wales to take on Newport County at the start of next month. They'll be looking to start the season strong, and tickets for the away clash go on priority sale this week, just days after new head coach Martin Patterson got off to a strong start with a 1-0 pre-season victory away at Alfreton Town. Now, sadly, the end of an era for Notts TV has come. After 4 incredible years of stories, laughter and unforgettable reads, the Notts TV Book Club is closing the cover on its last episode. It's on tonight at 9 p.m, where you can join Becky and her panel of bookworms for a send-off talking about books they love, books which bring joy, and the importance of a book club community.
What being involved with Book Club has meant to you? Obviously, it's a life-changing experience, but let's start with you, Billy.
I've loved it.
Oh, and hello, by the way.
Hello, yes, hello, my darling. Hello, yes. No, I mean, it's been fantastic because I have been, in the course of the series, I've just read books that I wouldn't have read otherwise, I think, because, you know, you would say to me, read this. And then I've loved the discussions, and I've never been in a book club. You know, my wife is, but I've never been in one other than this one, and I just love the experience of it because it makes me think about books in a different way to the way I normally do.
Are there any books that you've read that you think you might adapt?
Yeah, Stand Up Fair and Burke. If I can just get.
Right, okay.
Talking to Lenny Henry about that at the moment, just to name drop terribly. But it's, I think
Tonight, 9 p.m, that'll be emotional. Right, time for your picture of the day now. This butterfly was snapped by the Red Dragon Pictures on Instagram. You can share yours with us, Nuts_TV. Let's look at your weather because it's gorgeous. Tonight it's going to be pretty warm, 13 degrees. It's all right tomorrow though, nothing but sunshine, highs of 26 degrees. And then on Thursday, it's going to be highs of 27. And nothing but warm, sunny sunshine. That's all the way into the weekend as well, when it's going to get very warm indeed. Right, thank you for being with me today. Just a reminder, the last book show tonight is on at 9 p.m. Mark Dennison is back with you tomorrow. So if you do have a bit too much sun, come in, watch that, and then go back out and enjoy the evening. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.